Hi, I'm Heather Hocker, President and CEO of the Lubbock Symphony Orchestra, and this is Clef Notes. I'm excited to introduce you to our musicians, guest artists, and patrons who continue to make the LSO what it is today and so special to Lubbock and our surrounding rural communities. Our guest in the studio is former Lubbock Symphony Orchestra board chair and chairman of the board of Citibank, my friend Curtis Griffith. Citibank is the presenting sponsor for the February 28th Lubbock Symphony Orchestra and the Lubbock Chorale Brahms Requiem concert at the Buddy Holly Hall of Performing Arts and Sciences. Hi, Curtis. Thank you for joining me today on my first Clef Notes.
Heather, thanks for the opportunity to be here. Looking forward to the visit.
Curtis, I know you were born and raised in Morton, Texas, in Cochran County, which is about 50 miles slightly northwest of Lubbock. And as much as we could talk about banking, farming, and the cotton business, I want to shift our conversation to your love of music. Share with our audience your earliest classical musical experience and how you developed an appreciation of music and symphonic music during your youth.
Well, I'll go back a little earlier. My mother loved music, enjoyed playing the piano, primarily by ear. She could read music a little bit, but not a lot, but she did love to play. Dad loved listening, but had no particular musical talent of his own. But they encouraged me to learn piano and organ. I started early, but I never got very good at either. I started band in the 6th grade in Morton under Mr. John Stockdale. He was a tough taskmaster, especially for marching band. But all of us who stayed with it through high school have fond memories of the experience. We were a consistent winner in competitions, even performed a community concert of the Messiah one year with strings brought over from Eastern New Mexico University, which was his alma mater. It was a little introduction to classical music, and I started buying classical records and while I was in high school. And that got me interested in hearing symphonic music performed live. I may have attended a Lubbock Symphony concert while in high school. Honestly, don't fully remember, but I know my wife and I attended several while we were in college here in the 1970s.
So, did you march in band from middle school through high school?
Only high school marching
Okay,
band.
I thought so. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Great. Well, talk about where that concert was held that you were able to attend. And do you remember who the LSO conductor was?
Well, the concerts then were held in the now vanished Municipal Auditorium. William Harrod was conducting. Then later, we also attended performances when Maestro Eichald was conducting. Our children were going to All Saints at the time, and through them, we met Janine Holmes, then later Gillian, who encouraged us to go.
That's awesome. Such great memories. And I know Maestro Harrod's tenure with the symphony was over 40 years. We were so fortunate with that. Mm-hmm. And of course, his daughter, Jan Ledbetter, continues to support the Lubbock Symphony. She now resides in Dallas, and we've really enjoyed that relationship. I'm excited to hear more about your latest youth initiative with your business partner, Dolly Barker, and how both of you are committed to bringing students who are participating in band from our rural communities to the Lubbock Symphony Orchestra concert. This is a great opportunity for these youth and students to tour Buddy Holly Hall and to have dinner before the concert. Why is this so important to these young students today? And what additional communities are you focusing on?
Dolly and I are both from the Morton area. She lived in eastern Colorado, however, for about 30 years before moving back 6 years ago. But while she was there, she was a longtime season ticket holder for the Colorado Symphony. We both realized the impact that live classical music has had in our lives. We want to see the young people in our rural communities at least have a chance to experience that and see the inside of Buddy Holly Hall for themselves, and backstage some too, which is just it's a fascinating thing to watch the kids experience that. We hope that it will make them more enthusiastic band members, and we really believe that maybe one day they'll become regular patrons of the symphony too as they grow up. Well, so far, we've done this for the Morton kids, and in the upcoming concert for Spring Lake Earth, which, by the way, is home of two of our longtime directors at Citibank.
That is so exciting. I know we have about 64 students that will be coming from Spring Lake Earth to this Brahms Requiem. And it's really great because not only will they see the symphony, they'll also get to experience our Lubbock Chorale too, which that's always something the Lubbock Symphony tries to do at least once or twice a year, is to have a dual concert with the chorale. So I think that's extra special. I love the fact that we are developing a love and an appreciation for symphonic music for these youth, because they are our next generation of patrons. And that is how we continue to build the love of music in our world, and especially right here on the South Plains. You know, Curtis, I chuckle because Texas Cultural Trust provides research every 2 years that shows academic achievement, school attendance, graduation rates, and college readiness are significantly improved for secondary students who are highly engaged in the arts. This type of research really did not exist when we were in school, but share how your experience in the arts has shaped you into the person you are today.
Going back to those days back at Morton, band developed my discipline to keep at a task, even when it's hard and uncomfortable. Experiencing live performances opened a window in my soul that I really no other music has ever had. And I love all kinds of music. But getting to hear 80 plus, sometimes talented musicians, and certainly with including the chorale, far more than that on stage, play and sing some of the greatest music ever written under the baton of a great conductor like our own David Cho is just an experience like no other. I would encourage everybody to have the chance to experience that. And in particular, let's introduce our young people to it. They are our future.
They are definitely our future. And, you know, we talk about economic vitality, and you talk about that, the cultural experience, the education experience that the symphony provides. You know, with the opening of Buddy Holly Hall, we've had such an opportunity to see a wide range of artists, from Boys to Men and Kristen Chenoweth, Yo-Yo Ma. You know, we look forward to the opportunity of the potential of bringing Suzanne Graham or our other great famous vocalists back. So, you know, I think that's the exciting part about Buddy Holly Hall and the 2,200 seat theater that we have. What else would you like to share with our listeners today?
Well, again, I just appreciate the opportunity to be here and talk to the radio audience, and encourage everybody who's hearing this to come to this concert and get involved. This is a community that pulls together to support things that are important in our community. People sometimes think of West Texas as our image of being the lone cowboy out on the prairie. And honestly, that's a very poor representation of who we are. This is an area that from its earliest days, that the settlers only survived because they helped each other. Alone, none of them would have made it. Well, today, we all pull together as a community to support many great causes in our community, but in particular, the arts. We are so blessed to have Texas Tech University and its amazing faculty here to help us in many ways, certainly especially with the Lubbock Symphony. But we have great musicians all over this town, and they perform all kinds of music. I'm particularly fond of our classical, but there's some great performances here from many. And folks just need to get out, enjoy that, and financially help support it. That's what makes it happen.
I couldn't agree with you more. You know, Maestro Cho was gracious enough to do a talk and played the piano for the Friends of the Lubbock Christian University Music Group this past weekend. Of course, we have musicians from Wayland Baptist up in Plainview. And again, the wealth of musicians that freelance in this community. Go out and support your local musician. It really is important. Curtis, share with the audience the importance of Citibank's participation with the arts and the Lubbock community.
Heather, we see our role here as being a supporter of the Lubbock community. I've often said that I've seen a few successful banks around, and I've never yet seen one located in a failing community. So we know that it's not only, I think, our duty to do it, and having been blessed as stewards of this operation, that also for economic benefit back for ourselves. It's a good thing to give back and support important organizations in this community. Lubbock Symphony Orchestra is certainly one of the most important, and in my personal opinion, it's been around now, I believe, about 80 years. And in one form or another, Citibank, even prior to our arrival back in 93, has been a patron and a supporter, I believe, for just about half of that time, about 40 years. There are lots of good organizations in this town, and we just think it's important. Give back. We do our community rewards program every year that gives charities that some folks have never heard of an opportunity to get their name out there and spread their support base. And we provide a little cash for them in the process of doing it. So for us, giving back is just part of who we are. And I think it's important for us to continue that.
And certainly, as the Lubbock Symphony Orchestra begins its 80th season in 2026, we are so excited to have the support of Citibank. You've been a longtime supporter, both personally and with the bank, and you're a past board chair. Would you like to reflect a little bit about your tenure as board chair? And I mean, you've certainly seen the struggles of a nonprofit. You've seen the successes of the nonprofit. What makes it work as far as board participation?
Well, your last two words are the important ones, board participation. We were fortunate during my tenure to have some active board members, and that's what it really takes. Folks that will give more than just a couple of hours every 3 months to being involved in the operations and supporting the operations of the charity that they're there to represent as board members. And it was an interesting time. Won't go into all the details of it, but I have had the experience of getting on boards just as key people were choosing to leave and we were having to replace and go through talent searches. And, that's a whole show all by itself. But nevertheless, it was a great experience at the time, and I was very proud of the opportunity to do it.
Curtis, thank you for joining me, and thank you for all you do for Lubbock and the South Plains. We are so fortunate to have you as a huge supporter of the Lubbock Symphony. A special thank you to our audience for listening to Classical 105.7. On behalf of your Lubbock Symphony, I hope you will join us for the beautiful Brahms Requiem concert presented by Citibank on Saturday, February 28th at 7:30 at the Buddy Holly Hall of Performing Arts and Sciences. You can find the Lubbock Symphony Orchestra on social media, and to purchase tickets for all of our concerts, visit our website at lubbocksymphony.org or call the box office at 806-762-1688. And be sure to download Classical 105.7, the app, on your phone so you will never miss an episode of Cliff Notes. Make it a great day. Thank you again, Curtis.